You just say shit just to be a contrarian. You were the kid on the playground saying the most ridiculous things just to get attention.
What are you talking about?
Hi there, and welcome to another special episode of Hav and Charles Talk Comics with Caesar at the Movies. Today we are going to talk about the latest Marvel movie to come out, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Hi Caesar, hi Hav, how y'all doing?
Doing well, gentlemen. How are y'all?
I'm good. Hey, Charles Caesar. Good to see you again since we last saw each other at the movies.
That's right. It was, what almost 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, and before that would have been Thor?
Yes, I think that was No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. I
because
saw
we
Black
didn't-
Panther by myself. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get together for Black Panther.
That's right. Hav was telling me when he got on before you did that he gave me this whole speech about he was wrong about the when each movie came out, and it sounded like he was doing some kind of mea culpa for the podcast, and I had no clue that he was incorrect about it at any point.
No, I never told you about it. Just on the way home, I was thinking, oh, when did Doctor Strange, Spider-Man No Way Home in my head, even though we saw it together, I didn't realize it was summer when Thor Love and Thunder came out,
Mhm.
and then Black Panther Thanksgiving, and somehow in my head I had them swapped. I don't know why. Time is weird, blah, blah, blah. So that's it.
Okay.
That was all.
All right, so I guess the first question I have is, did y'all enjoy the movie?
I did. It's Paul Rudd. He's funny. It's just that sense of humor. The entire thing flowed really well. I didn't go in thinking it was going to be the greatest movie ever. It wasn't going to change my life, but it was funny. It introduced Kang, starts moving the next phase forward. And that's all I was really looking for, turn my brain off for 2 hours and enjoy a visual spectacular.
Pretty much the same. It wasn't like I was expecting this to win Best Picture, and I purposely stayed away from Twitter for about 2+ weeks beforehand, and especially leading up to when we were going to go see it, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And yeah, no, it was. I mean, look, Paul Rudd, yes, of course, freaking vampire. He doesn't age. And I liked everybody else in it, from, Evangeline Lilly. She's grown on me. And then Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas, right? Yeah, Michael Douglas, not Kirk Douglas. No, it was good. It was good. And the dude that plays Kang is freaking great.
Yes.
Just I dare say they could not have done better in picking the big bad for this next phase. So, yeah.
I think, what's his name? Jonathan Majors?
That sounds right.
I think that's right. I'm looking it up right. Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah, he was great in that role. And what I really like about what he brings what he's getting the opportunity to do is play the same character in different versions. So you saw that in Loki as He Who Remains, and then you see this version of Kang, and then you'll see different ones throughout. And I think it'll show his range, and he had a presence, and it was really, really strong.
Yeah. Charles, what did you think?
I really enjoyed the movie. I did have high expectations. I think I told y'all that after the movie, that I was very concerned because I was actually so excited to see it, because I've really, really liked the Ant-Man movies, and I did not expect to like the Ant-Man movies except for the fact that I liked Paul Rudd. I do want to go back to the Evangeline Lilly grew on you.
Yeah.
You did not like her before?
She was okay in the first one. And
she was really mean.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned this to both of y'all. I binge watched the crap out of Lost. Like, this is back when Netflix was still DVDs, and I knew the last season was coming out, and a whole bunch of people told me, man, they know I like sci-fi, and you'd really like Lost. And I was like, I haven't seen an episode, and the last season's going to come out in, this next whatever season, next year, whenever that was. So I don't know, on a whim, I was like, I'll get the first DVD. And then I was just sucked in, for better or worse. And I was just like, it was crack. And I was thinking to myself, how could anyway, so I liked her in that role. And maybe it was just hard to see her as Hope, and not that character. I don't know. Something didn't ring true to me. I don't know. I'm not. It took me a second to get used to her in this role. I don't know. That's it. So yeah.
Fair enough. I did not know she was in Lost because I have not seen one episode of that. So
don't go down that rabbit hole.
I don't
wasted
plan to.
a lot of my life on that show.
See,
good show, but anyways,
I like
no, it's not a lot. We won't turn it into a Lost podcast.
Idea. Now, how many years after the finale? Let's do a Lost podcast.
Yeah, y'all are going to make me watch it just so come on, we'll do an episode by episode thing.
We'll title the whole podcast "What's with the Polar Bear." Charles, you'll understand that pretty quickly.
Smoke monster.
That is actually a term I know. I don't know anything about it, but I have heard that. Obviously,
now you know everything you need to know at this point.
Cool.
Yeah,
you made it.
Then I won't watch it.
But with Ant-Man, going back to it, it was. I guess Charles, what were you afraid of? That it was going to be like just terrible, or
no? I was concerned that I had too high an expectation for it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I wanted it to be good. I watched the trailers for it, and I thought, wow, this looks like a lot of fun. It is kind of outside the things in comic books I like, because although it's the things in movies I like, with the deep, big, expansive universe, I get turned off on that in a lot of comic books because they can't get I read books like that and movies like that. They can hit the expandedness of it better than to me in a comic book. Comic books tend to be too short, but a full 2-hour movie, which I did not even realize until we were done that it was a 2-hour movie, because it did not lag. It was really, really an enjoyable movie to sit there and watch.
I hate to say it. I mean, I love the Marvel Universe. I love the movies. I've gone back and read, people's comments and reviews and just slamming the movie. And I'm like, what do you expect? Like, it's not supposed to be Endgame. It's not supposed to be the big meetup. It's a set piece that tells a small story leading into the bigger story. And that's all it really is. And it's a fun ride for 2 hours. I liked the dynamic of having Michael Douglas, his character, Hank Pym. If you can see did you notice the difference in him? Like his hair, his clothes, like he's kind of come to life now that he's got his wife back.
Yeah.
He was a stodgy old man in the other movies. And like just to have that and to have that, his character really show off a little bit more. And then Michelle Pfeiffer's character, just being able to expand on that. I love having those two characters in there, and then you bring in the daughter. So you're starting to really round out the ensemble and show more. Now, the one thing I was disappointed in was Scott's friends, and I can't think of them. I can't think of their names right now, but
yes.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes. I was, and I wasn't disappointed until someone mentioned that they weren't in it, and I was like, holy crap, we lost to them. We didn't even get a whole story on how it's set up. We didn't get which made the first two movies. What's his name? God, the actor.
Is it Luis?
Yeah, Luis.
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Michael, I love him, and I love the energy he brings to the whole explaining everything. How'd we meet? How'd we do this? How'd we do that? And I can see where they weren't in there. It was a real closer knit family thing. I loved the Michael Douglas stuff. On top of he's got his wife back, he's treating Scott's daughter Cassie. Thank you. She calls him grandpa, or whatever. I loved that touch. That they're a family, and that's happened because Michelle Pfeiffer's character has come back.
Mm-hmm. So and then you've got Michelle Pfeiffer's character. That she has this past that you don't know about. She spent 30 years there, and so she has to have had experience.
Yeah, she had needs.
And you find out that she had needs, yes, and Bill Murray, stepped into that void. But then you find out that she's a freedom fighter, and she's actually kind of the reason that all the hell breaks loose in the quantum realm. So like her role in helping Kang get started there, and then her role in trying to fight him, and it kind of makes me, you meet people, and especially older people when you're a kid, and they're just older, and then you start to find out as you grow up that they have this whole life story and the things that they did and things they were part of. And I loved that where her story gets fleshed out more and more, and you find out like she bears a lot of guilt for what happened there, and then she abandoned the people, and so she's trying to make it right. And so I loved like fleshing that out, because I felt like in the other two movies she was, she was there, but she was kind of just really tangential, or just there wasn't enough room for her. And so they made room here, and I really enjoyed that.
Until, you know what, this is how good I think the movie is. Until you just mentioned, or y'all just talked about the fact that Michael Pena wasn't in it, never crossed my mind until just now. And now I'm kind of like, that sucks. But you know what? It would have been weird just jam him in there, kind of for everything. It was more of a family thing, showing them all tight knit. Now I'm curious what happened to Luis and
they all died.
Great. God damn it. Anyways, no, I mean, because they were funny. They were good for as funny as the movie. They were like their own little comic relief, Three Stooges. It was hilarious. With that one part where he shrinks down for the first time in the movies, and the guy says, "This is the work of witches," or whatever. And
you had to have his sidekicks, his group, Scott's group, to round out the cast in the first movie, and then they were a little bit less present in the second one, because you've got the story the world kind of grows a little bit. And so I get why there wasn't room for them here, but I would have liked a mid-credit scene, post-credit scene that had them. I understand you got to move the story forward, you're kind of giving a tease for what's coming, so maybe when it hits Disney Plus, that they'll have deleted scenes or something in there with that, because I'd really hate to believe that they just cut them out, especially Michael Pena's character.
Mainly Michael Pena's character, because we get into this as family. There is no way that he's not family. He was living with Scott when he was under house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they or at least not, maybe even if I'm not, I can't quite remember if he was actually living there, but he was there all the time. They were
officing out of, I think, Scott's house.
So he was there all the time. He was there with Cassie. If he didn't get blipped, he was in Cassie's life. I promise that.
That's a really good point.
I mean, because if Scott, for all intents and purposes in that world, Scott got blipped until he actually came back from the quantum realm. So there was Cassie, and we don't know if her mom got blipped, but if Luis did not get blipped, he'd have been around her. Because what do? You look after your best friend's kid when he disappears. So
Well, I remember them. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Caesar.
No, please.
No, I remember hearing when Quantumania was in production that T.I. wasn't going to reprise his role as one of the crew, and being a little bit verklempt about that. Mm-hmm. And then again, for me to not even realize that none of them were in it. It's just because I remember thinking, they're not going to bring everybody back because I like them so much and blah, blah, blah. Because I thought they were great in the first two movies, the first two Ant-Man movies. So no, I mean, that's it. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, again, I just shows how much, attention I pay to things. I didn't even realize they weren't in it because I was so enthralled with the movie. I liked it a lot. Probably more. I'd heard really good reviews going into the movie. And then since we saw it, I've heard all these people bashing about it. I haven't read anything. I've read headlines. And I think like one of y'all were saying, manage your expectations, people. So that's it. I don't know. I think we've already talked about that, but yeah. Anyways.
Well, I think we talk about it every time. It's the idea that people have these high expectations for what they think it should be, or it's not true to the comics. It's not true to the, whatever the hell it is. And it's a movie, and it's a fun movie. And like I said, I just want to go turn my brain off for a couple hours and then just enjoy, whatever they're presenting. But Charles, you look like you were about to say something.
I had just seen, I watch Screen Crush videos, and they did a lot of times I like the Easter egg ones because I want to see which I saw and find out some of the ones I didn't see. That's kind of fun for me, being who I am. And they released a video after that said, "Does Ant-Man really suck?" And it's from the same guy I generally watch. And he actually talked about how much he liked the movie. And I'm like, I haven't watched it because I don't think it sucks, so I don't give a damn. But I then thought about, well, do I watch it to see if he's saying, because of what you're saying, he's read all of these things that said it sucked, and maybe he's talking about, well, you liked this or you didn't like that or what have you. But it was just a interesting dynamic that no matter what is made in a comic book movie, there's going to be a whole group of people that don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it works.
And
because almost all of them now have women in them. So I mean, you're just going to get the bar right there. Not going to like them.
Hey, not only are women in them, women are in like lead roles. Like they're the main superhero in them.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. And
they made Captain Marvel's a chick.
Yeah, and the Wasp even grew on some people here.
Yeah, that's true. I heard somebody on a podcast recently say that. Yeah, she grew on them, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
they're growing.
I did enjoy the new characters that they had to bring in the quantum realm. Like I think at one point Cassie goes, "There's quantum people," and it never occurred to me that there would be life, down there, in that, humanoids and sentient beings.
Drink the ooze.
Yeah.
Ooze.
Okay.
Drink the...
I know. You gotta. I'm a middle-aged man going to see this movie, but God, I really hate the Ewoks of every movie, and that character, the ooze thing, was an Ewok. He annoyed the hell out of me when he's like, "I've got holes," and then he eats, the Kang Stormtrooper.
And you did not see that coming, though.
I saw it coming a mile away.
Oh, did you? I did not see it coming, and I loved it.
As soon as he shows up, I'm like, okay, this is the goofy character. Like this is,
he is.
That got on my nerves, but I cannot remember the guy who could read minds.
Chidi.
You even mentioned it's Chidi because that's the first thought I had when I saw him.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love the actor, and I said to you, I wish he had more to do in that, and I hope
or that he'll be back in
that he'll be back at. I do wish he'll be back at some point. I would like to see
the mind reader. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he works well as a character on a TV show where you can get more, just because he's not a main character in the movie. He's not Falcon. He's not Black Widow, where you've got to have, the bigger characters in there. So he's going to have less time. But I think in the TV shows, if there's somehow they could work him in, I think he's a great actor, and I've enjoyed him in a few different things. And I was really happy when he came on screen. I was like, and I did the same thing. I was like, Chidi.
Okay, so my ignorance. The characters from the movie's name is Quaz, apparently. William Jackson Harper. What is he from?
The Good Place.
The Good Place.
Oh, that's okay. I watched like part of the first season of that. Okay, that's who he is.
Hold on.
Great show.
Yeah, you've only watched part of the first season of that show?
I don't think... maybe we watched the whole first season, and then there was a huge break, and we were kind of like, and we kind of just never picked it up again.
I loved that show.
Yeah, it is.
It was good.
It is to me one of the top 10 sitcoms of my life.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm not going to disagree. Like,
oh, wow.
It's,
and I will say this: it is
smart. It is funny.
Yeah,
it's got heart to it. Like
it's probably the best written and most well-rounded of all the sitcoms. Really, it should have been on a niche cable network or a niche streaming network. The fact that it was actually on NBC in prime time just blows my mind, as smartly written as it was and as how deep it is philosophically.
Yeah. I never watched it until it was in the middle of I guess when the last season was coming on to NBC. I started watching it on Netflix because I'd never watched it. Like, I'd seen a few commercials and I was like, ugh, and it didn't look interesting. And I just gave it a shot and loved it. Like, Hav, I highly recommend. Go ahead and waste some time and watch it.
You know what? And I'm kind of looking for stuff to watch. And like I said, we watched the first season and didn't miss an episode. And I think I may be making this up. I think there was a huge break between season 1 and season 2. And then we kind of, and I know we could have streamed it. We kind of missed it coming out by a few weeks or like a month. And we were like, eh. And then I think the reviews just started getting better. I mean, the first season was well received and it apparently just kept on getting better and better and better. And what was it, like 3 or 4 seasons, if that? Right? It wasn't many seasons.
I think it was about 4, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty short run, but compared to...
Which is fine. I like that better than a 7, 8 season thing. Well, and if Ryan ever listens to this, he has for years tried to get me to watch, not a comedy, but The Wire. I saw the first season of that, never finished it. Breaking Bad, I watched, and I've told him before, I watched the pilot of Breaking Bad and was like, oh, this is a ridiculous plot. Premise for a show. I'm out. And then
but the farm boy saving the galaxy in his little spaceship, that made complete, fighting his father who dressed as an all black, that made complete sense to you, right?
Exactly.
I think with Breaking Bad, and we're real off topic, so pull me back if you need to. It took the first 6 episodes to really get into, and that's a hard thing, is, like to really get into something, and then it got crazy great. Better Call Saul, the spinoff, 3 episodes, 3 seasons.
I quit after no. I quit after 3 episodes on Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I waved the flag and said, "Fuck that."
Yeah, and but some things it takes time and they're worth it. Other things, you give years to something, you're like, what the Lost?
Oh god,
bring it full circle here. Lost, I was like, what the hell is this crap?
Well, from what I understand, at least with Breaking Bad, if you gave it the time, they did good with the end. I hate it when I'm really enjoying something and then they just keep pushing it out too long and they don't wrap it in time, and then you're just like, okay, it's time to quit.
So you're talking about Lost right now.
We're talking about Lost.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's true. I have heard, but there's been things that I've watched that I've cared about that I'm like, why am I still watching this?
Yeah.
You know what? I really enjoyed Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined version. And towards the end there, it felt like they were having trouble figuring out how to finish it up.
Yes.
A little bit. And it got a little too weird. I don't know. Because I really enjoyed like the first, I don't know how many seasons.
The first 2 seasons at least were just incredible on Battlestar.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I forget how many seasons it was.
Yeah.
Well, just showing, you were talking about me liking the farm boy saving the galaxy or universe and battling my maturity level. You're talking about Ewoks. Speaking of Star Wars, I liked the gooey guy from Ant-Man. I was all in. It was comic relief on top of comedic stuff. I was like, sure, okay, yeah.
Okay. How did y'all feel about MODOK?
Fucking loved MODOK.
Me too.
Did you not like MODOK?
I don't know a lot about MODOK. I watched the show that was on Hulu or something, a couple episodes.
I only watched the first episode of the Patton Oswalt one, and it was okay, but I don't love it. And I got to be blunt, I'm not a big fan of MODOK, really.
Yeah.
Overall.
Like the character.
No, the character. He's not my thing, although that Gwenpool arc we read with MODOK was great.
Yeah.
But that's because
when they revealed that it was Darren,
I
could not stop laughing for a few minutes. Like, I thought that was brilliant to bring him back.
It was.
And then his face is all messed up, and when they're showing how he's created, and you see his little legs and his tiny little ass, I thought that was brilliant. I enjoyed that so much, not just because I saw ass on screen, but because I thought it was a good way to pull an old thread back in.
Yes, I really loved him having a redemption story.
Oh, he died in Avenger.
I mean,
that's so great.
No, he didn't, but it's nice to tell the dying child. It was a make-a-wish. But that was awesome.
I really am glad I avoided the spoilers because I knew MODOK was in it. Had no idea how they were going to cram him in there, and then it kind of made sense because he gets when he gets shrunken into the quantum realm, he's getting crunched like a tin can. But when they revealed like that it was Darren, I avoided spoilers, so I was genuinely shocked, surprised, and then incredibly happy that he was just so freaking damaged and weird and funny, and oh my god, it was great.
And they set it up so well because she mentions it right away that at the beginning of the movie, when I was 6, a guy in a bee costume tried to kill me in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was just, you're referencing the movie, it was just kind of a throwaway line. But to have Darren come back and him as MODOK was great. And I think that guy played, I can't remember his real name, Corey something, I think.
Corey Stoll.
Okay, yeah, Corey Stoll. I've seen him in a few other things, and he usually plays like the big, arrogant, business guy like he did in the first movie. And then to see him as this maniacal killing machine who's really just needy as fuck.
Yes, and chewing up the scenery.
Yeah. Yeah.
With his face stretched out and huge.
Oh my god, that was disturbing.
It really was. And you know what? Did y'all ever see? He was also in. Guillermo del Toro was one of the producers of this TV show on FX about vampires trying to take over, and he was like the scientist battling them. It was an okay series. It started it started strong, but he was. I knew him from that. And so when I saw him in Ant-Man, I was like, oh, this guy's a good actor. And then never knew that he was freaking hilarious because, oh my God, I hadn't seen him in a comedic role. And yeah, you mentioned it, Charles, chewing up the scenery. He was just leaning into it big time. It was awesome. What else? What did we think? What did y'all think of Bill Murray?
I'd forgotten he was going to be in it.
Me too.
So I'd seen something a long time ago that he was in it. And then I thought I had read somewhere, or maybe it was one of those spoiler videos, like, where they're trying to tell you this is what's going to happen. And then, like 15% of it is accurate, that he is somehow related to Jeff Goldblum's character from the Thor movies.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. They never made any connection there. Maybe it's something that's, in the future. But I had forgotten that he was going to be in it. And then you hear his voice, you see his face, and I'm like, Bill Murray.
What I found, too, was very funny. Talking about the spoiler things, they said, oh, it was great that then he got eaten by the same thing he had eaten. Except we didn't see him get eaten. We saw it holding him. We didn't see him get eaten.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because you know the rule. If you don't see the body.
This was your same argument for Eternals with
Icarus.
Oh, yeah.
Icarus, yes.
Yeah, he flew into the sun.
He flew into the sun.
Well, we didn't actually see him fly into the sun. We saw him flying towards the sun.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Bill Murray was great. Again, he is playing Bill Murray. Like, he's at that.
That's all he does now.
If you bring in Al Pacino, he's going to play Al Pacino. Bill Murray is smarmy and funny and made Michael Douglas incredibly uncomfortable. And I think it worked really, really well.
So did Michelle Pfeiffer. She was leaning hard into that too. The two of them on that when she did the whole giggly
big
word I know but cannot evidently say. Just it was great, and the whole I was there for 30 years. A woman has needs.
Yeah.
Ew. For some reason,
you think that's gross that she has sex? I think of that completely differently, but that's okay.
Yes, with Bill Murray, yeah, a little bit.
Well, try not to think of it with Bill Murray.
Well, I mean, then you got to wonder, like, okay, he says, he's human-ish. do the Lego parts all fit in? Like, what's going on here? And then, I don't want to get too far into that, but I had questions, and it was, Bill Murray's great.
Hob is here for all your answers. Go ahead.
He's got the doll.
I just want to, yes. Here, let me show you on the chicken. Okay, so when one chicken loves another chicken very much.
Oh my God, why do you have two chickens?
They kiss.
He's got more than that.
And then sometimes okay.
This is upsetting.
He has a whole, he has a whole room of those chickens.
I'm neither going to confirm nor deny that under advice of counsel. So somebody mentioned Eternals just a second ago, so I want to know, have y'all come full circle and admitted that Eternals was actually an okay to good movie?
No.
I've never seen it again, so I can't do that.
I have, and the answer is still no.
Still no. Okay. So you're saying
it was just trying to be too big, and it's the same way I feel about the DC movies, that they came full on with the whole cast, whereas the Marvel movies, pieced out, okay, these are the, here's a Thor movie, here's a Iron Man, here's a Captain America, hey, we're introducing these people, give you some background.
How dare you attack Zack Snyder in the Snyderverse?
All right, I will do it all day, every day. I just think that, it's been bad, but it was the same thing with Eternals. It was too much, too quick, and I never gave a damn about any of them. Just were not interesting, and the world's, going to end if they don't, literally the world's going to be eaten if they don't handle this, but just was not interesting. And I wanted to like it. I just didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for the big movie.
Well, what you said about the DC first attempt or whatever attempt that was with, I guess it started with Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Justice League. Yeah. They going into that, I think they even had some kind of thing where they were poking fun at Marvel. Like, this is what real superheroes are like, or they had some weird tagline, like,
they were trying to separate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to say, oh no, those are fun. We won't be like that.
Yes, who wants fun movies?
We're going to be dark and edgy.
And we're going to take the most fun superhero about light and goodness, and we're going to try to make it dark. I'm back.
And shoot it through a gray filter.
I don't even care if they hadn't shot it through a gray filter. They could have lightened the colors in Man of Steel, and it still would have been not the Man of Steel. And I'm just rehashing all the stuff. I like Superman, and I did not like what they did with him there.
Well, to compare and contrast, when we saw Ant-Man, we saw a preview for the Flash movie, which, putting aside, which I know is a hard thing to do, and maybe that's a whole other discussion, everything that the lead actor that plays the Flash in the movies has done and is apparently a douchebag, but that preview was good. And I was like, geez.
Yeah. Too high hopes. Too high of hopes.
Sucked me in.
I get what you were saying, Charles, earlier. It's like high hopes. Like I saw that. I had no interest in it beforehand. I do not like Ezra Miller much as an actor. His Flash character was funny, but do 2 hours plus of him really didn't sound that appealing. And that trailer,
and actually, it'll be 4 hours plus of him because he's playing two characters.
See, you just made me really not want to see this one, but that trailer looked fantastic.
Supergirl. It has Supergirl in it. I love Supergirl.
Or Superwoman.
That's true.
I apologize. It has Power Woman in it.
Wait,
maybe.
There's a difference?
Well, no.
Power
Woman is Kara Zor-El from another. Oh God.
Oh yeah, talk about different universes.
It's from a different universe, and yes, which this is technically a different universe, so it might actually be that. They also took, with the way she is inside that, where she's captured, there was a Elseworlds type Superman without Superman, where Superman was inside something like that, and they actually was that one of the DC movies that they made?
Yeah.
Did they do that one in one of the movies?
They did that too.
In the actual cartoon movies they made, which by the way...
different than the Nail.
Yeah, no, it's
same kind of
not
thing.
the Nail.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he wasn't raising the Amish. He was trapped in an underground bunker being studied, and he came out skinny and emaciated.
Deprived
like
of the sun.
Yeah, like she does. So they've kind of taken from that. That's the messed up thing about DC. They make good comic book movies. They just make them cartoons. And they can't seem to do that because some of their cartoon movies are really good. And if they'd have sunk the money into it, even like a fraction of the money they're putting into the movies, they could have been really, really good.
Or the fact that their TV shows like Doom Patrol and Titans are pretty good. Oh, and look, the Arrowverse. I was in on that for the first, I don't know how many years. I kind of bowed out because it was a little too long for me.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, and of course, they are bringing back the best Batman ever, Batman 89. Michael Keaton, and I'm just so my Batman pants are going crazy.
You just say shit, just to be a contrarian. You were the kid on the playground saying the most ridiculous things just to get attention.
What are you talking about?
The Michael Keaton Batman movies are terrible. Terrible.
Oh, that hurts.
That hurts.
Damn, I wish I had a soundboard.
George Clooney and
shots fired.
Val Kilmer, but well below even Ben Affleck, and well below Christian Bale as Batman. But much better than who was the last one?
Patterson.
Yeah, I did not like that.
I kind of liked
one.
Patterson.
I didn't like that.
Okay.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that
Patterson.
movie. But no, that Batman with the Joker and the Penguin was terrible movie. Terrible. You can't defend it other than just saying ridiculous
I don't
things.
have to because it's a classic, and it I don't.
It's a classic because it's old. Longevity does not equal greatness.
89. It's a little old, but you know what?
That doesn't mean shit.
It was good. And look at it. Yeah, okay. I use the word too often. Nostalgic. Blah blah blah. It's just a fun. Speaking of fun. At the time, it was considered very dark, by the way, just so you know. But it's still, I think it holds up. I think it's a fun movie, and that's I'm not being contrarian.
When it came out. I thought it was bad when it came out.
Well,
I've never come off that point.
That's just a bad.
No,
take.
I'm right. You're wrong. Just
No,
I'm a guest
and
here.
then-
Be polite
and-
to your guest.
And Jack Nicholson's Joker. Well, okay, look,
Terrible.
I know Heath Ledger and all that. Again,
Nicholson's Joker was terrible.
It was awesome. It was awesome. He's a little crazy. He shrinks that guy. He blows that guy's head and shrinks it, and then he's talking to him alone in the room, and it's creepy and weird. It was. It was. So yeah.
That phrase is going to haunt you for a while.
Oh, it's already. It's like
what phrase?
The blows that
Creepy and
guy's
weird.
head. No, blows that guy's head. Just so you know,
I didn't say that. If you put that in, it's been edited. I just want everybody to know
literally that phrase. There won't be edited to have blows that guy's head. Was the phrase And that might just be the opener of this when people. It's going to start.
It's going to be edited.
It'll just start out with blows this guy's head, and then the theme music, and then.
Anyways, so I'm looking forward to seeing Michael Keaton. Oh, real fast, Christian Bale, overrated Batman. His fake Batman voice is so dumb. In fact, to the point where what's his face? I've sent you all the videos of Pete Holmes doing the fake Batman, just making fun of Christian Bale because it's so over the top, stupid.
Still better movies. Still just better movies overall.
Yeah.
The Batman Begins is good. The Dark Knight is incredibly good because of Heath Ledger. Christian Bale is not a great Batman. The movie is great, but he's not a great. I'm not. This is just my opinion.
Settle down, Hav. Stop touchdown dancing.
Yeah. I like Michael Keaton. I do not agree with Ceasar on that movie was terrible, but it was a great movie when it came out. I have nostalgic feelings for it, so it'll never be terrible in my mind. Ewoks are awesome, but I can see if I watched Return of the Jedi as an adult, I'd be like, gee, that's kind of childish. But you know what? I was in elementary school when they came out.
No, it's still awesome.
I watched it recently. They were awesome because I have that memory back then. I'm saying if I watched it brand new as an adult, it might be a little different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And when you realize Ewoks killed the stormtroopers and ate them, makes it even cooler.
That makes it a lot better. I did not like the third movie. I think Bane is a joke. I love Harley Quinn because the raison d'etre of Harley Quinn is to have Bane as a character, and Bane is a fucking joke. Oh, blow this up! I mean, it just, everything about... have you watched the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max?
I've watched the first season.
No.
Okay. All right. I love that show. It is my... Oh, God, I love that show. I just rewatched the whole thing recently. I've been on a rewatch binge of things.
Wait, Hav, did
you watch some of it with me, Caesar?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I was trying to get to your painkillers, but
they just have no respect for Bane, and no one has any respect for Bane, and it pleases me because everybody's like, they're gonna do Bane. I feel about Bane the way I feel about Doomsday killing Superman when they did the death of Superman. What is it about, hey, we're going to kill the superhero because we're just going to have him beat to death? I don't get it. We're going to beat them to death. That seems to be the way they're just, that's what we're going to do.
Would you rather have a laser or a chainsaw?
Well,
they needed to sell comics.
I understand.
So they killed Superman.
Yeah, there's better ways to kill Superman. You can send him trick him into the sun and have his cells be supercharged.
So he's going to explode.
Superman.
Did that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, that did. That was the season finale. We read All-Star Superman, and that was
okay.
So I don't have to recreate the wheel. I just think it's just the same thing over and over when they just beat somebody to death. And I want someone to defeat. If you're going to have somebody defeat a great superhero, don't let it just be someone who's a thug. Let him do something new and different instead of just, he's so strong he just managed to.
Like if Batman's going to die, it needs to be at the hands of the Joker.
That would be good. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So some random guy on steroids broke his back. I mean, okay. Which is what happened with Bane in the comics, because I've read that. And the best part about that was the whacked dude that took over because he wouldn't let Robin take over, and that causes that whole other... Anyway, sorry. If y'all read that, never mind.
No.
Parts of it, not the whole thing. There were so many comics in that thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I just, for some reason, am self-conscious about Caesar just throwing out the line that I was trying to get to my painkillers. I was prescribed those, just so everybody knows. It wasn't like he came over and I was like strung out, like crawling on the ground trying to get to painkillers that I got on the street over off of Harry Hines or something. These were prescribed by a doctor.
He said he was trying to get to your painkillers.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying me.
He was not implying that you had the. He was.
That's why I didn't have my full prescription.
Everybody understood that. We all know about your serious, horrifying, COVID-causing medical conditions.
Thank you. So good. Yeah. Thank you. No, now I understand why I was missing some. I felt like I was a little shortchanged. Like I swear I had more of these, and I was running low at the end.
We don't need to discuss this anymore.
So, and then back to Batman real fast. Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman. Enough said. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. Can I switch gears?
Sure.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. We've never discussed it. What did y'all think?
I liked it.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked setting up, I guess, Ironheart, that I don't know very much about.
I love Ironheart.
And they had to do something. The fact that they could, I think I even mentioned this to maybe one or both of you. The reason why it was kind of a little longish, I think, is because they had to deal with him dying in real life. And the first half hour, I think, was that. So, and then I thought they did a really good job of dealing with it and putting together a good movie. I mean, would it obviously would have been better if he hadn't passed away? Yeah, it sucks. Oh my God. It's just terrible.
I think
he seemed like a cool dude, good guy, great actor. Yeah. But I thought they did great with it.
I thought they made a great movie, not in spite of the circumstances, but like they just made a great movie. Mm-hmm. Taking the tragedy, you have to move forward. So, they figured out how to, work that in and then start moving forward. But it wasn't like, hey, we've got a new Black Panther. We're never going to talk about the old one. The family grief, the grief of everybody around them. Something I really, really enjoyed about that movie was, and it hit me the second time I saw it, it was a movie about women without being a movie about women. That it was strong female leads, dealing with everything, handling it. And it wasn't the way that She-Hulk goes back to that well over and over again. You had these Shuri, is dealing with her grief. The Queen dealing with her grief. What's her name? Letitia Wright's character. Damn it. Anyways, she ends up she and T'Challa, had a relationship, and they bring her back into it.
Mm-hmm. I loved that.
Yeah. And so you've got this story where even Winston Duke, he gets a little bit more screen time. It was so well done. And I was really like the emotional part of it, that you're having to grieve the loss of somebody that you dearly, dearly loved, who was so important to everybody. And then you've got this new threat and you've got to navigate that, and you're dealing with all of it. And I found it to be very, I've never had to defend the world while, grieving anything, and I'm really happy for that. But I felt like it was pretty realistic in those terms of having to do, fight both battles. And then the introduction of Namor. I really enjoyed him. And I enjoyed what they did with him in terms of changing it from Atlantis to, this Mesoamerican culture as a Mexican man. I loved it. I absolutely loved what they did with it.
As not a Mexican man, I loved what they did with it, because Namor is a shitty fucking character and they made him awesome.
The fact that they pulled off the wings on his ankles and it wasn't stupid and Goofy, it was actually really cool. Once they pulled that off, and then changing the origin story the way they did, fine. It was great. They had rhyme and reason and made sense, and it was good. Look, speaking of being afraid, like for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because, he passed away, and why am I blanking on his name?
Oh, you mean...
the lead. Anyways, Chadwick Boseman. It's Chadwick Boseman. When he passed away, I was deathly afraid... sorry, that was bad word choice. I was so afraid they were going to CGI him in somehow in some scene at the beginning, or even if it was from far away, or they're going to have some death scene at the very beginning,
have his brother
with him CGI. Because for a lot of, I think we all remember the Princess Leia CGI at the end of Rogue One. That was terrible. Mm-hmm. And just sometimes it hits, sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't. It just would have been. I'm just so glad they didn't do that. And I'm wondering if, anyways, I was really afraid they were going to do that. They didn't. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was awesome. Martin Freeman was awesome in it. And then Namor. I want to see more of that character. I want to see more of the new Black Panther. Shuri.
I want to see him having sex with Sue Storm. I mean, I said it. We all want that.
Okay, sure. That you do you, man. I bet you. Hey, you know what? Do us a favor. Google that and let us know what you find.
All right, I'll start.
I guarantee you'll find something pretty quickly.
I'll screenshot some stuff and send it to the group text.
Thanks. Good.
Go ahead, Huff. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say no. I was going to pivot too a little bit because I think we mentioned this on the podcast. We had a failed attempt at Thor: Love and Thunder that we were going to do a movie review back in the summer, and then we just had all sorts of technical difficulties on multiple fronts. I famously, when we were recording that, was like, I've watched it again. It was not. I didn't give it enough credit for being as fun. I for some reason I had a different expectation. Speaking of expectations going into something, I thought the balance from Ragnarok, it tilted more fun and funny in Thor: Love and Thunder. You know what? It was fine. It was good. It was just not my exact cup of tea. I would have liked it to be more like Ragnarok, but nothing's going to be like that. And gosh darn it, Christian Bale, speaking of Christian Bale, he was freaking great in it, on rewatch. I don't know. I got too hung up on the Waititi stuff and the haha stuff, and it distracted me from God. He was really good in it. But anyway, I didn't mean to take us away from Black Panther, but I just wanted to mention that about Thor: Love and Thunder.
I have not rewatched either one of those movies, and I liked Thor: Love and Thunder, but I've done some reading on why it did not work as well as Ragnarok, and part of it is Thor never got serious when the movie needed to be serious at the end. Because we had all of that lead up, and in Ragnarok, he got serious. Because it got serious at the end when Ragnarok actually happened. But he was still making jokes when he had a bunch of children that had been
he's giving
kidnapped.
them all the power of Thor with their stuff.
Yeah, he never took anything seriously during that. Now, some people complained about the whole talking to the hammer and talking to the axe, and they were commenting about that. That didn't bother me. Yeah, that didn't bother me so much because that was actually came from some of the comics.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, some of that. Mjolnir has an entity inside it in the comics when Jane Foster was Thor, and she started communicating with it. Thor probably never had, because it was more of a female entity in there. So they had some kind of easier bond type thing. So I liked that there was some of that in this. It did get kind of corny, but like I said,
I just felt like Taika Waititi is funny, and then it's the keep being funny and and then it just kind of like the goats, making their noises. It's funny the first couple times, and then after a while, it's like, okay, dude, it just we get it. They make noise, and I just felt like a lot of it. Yeah, just keep beating that thing, and I just felt like a lot of that movie was just him. Look how funny I am. Look how funny I am. And okay, like there's a time and place, and then you can stop now.
Yeah, I also, and we talked about that on the pod that did not get released. The narrator, not the how do you Korg.
Thank you.
Korg narrating in the beginning is an untrue narrator. I mean, that is from his perspective. The Guardians of the Galaxy are completely inept. It was completely this. And once I clicked that, that's like they're fighting Muppets, because that's how he sees them. And that cracked me up. I am excited to see the Guardians of the Galaxy that's coming out, because that left me with the taste of, I love Taika Waititi. I love him. He does not do the music stuff as well, and he tried to in that beginning thing, and maybe he was doing it on purpose to not quite have it hit. And now that I think about it, maybe he was, knowing, because he is a damn good director, because it just wasn't hitting right for a Guardians movie. It was just off, and that's probably what it was.
Because you either really like GNR, Guns N' Roses, which was throughout the whole movie, and I just happen to be one of those that they never hit with me.
I didn't mind the music and the rest of it. I'm just talking about that Guardians of the Galaxy beginning. The music did not work for that.
Okay. All right.
And that might have been on purpose.
Okay. Well, now that you say that, I'm interested to see if James Gunn does
has Thor
alternate, like their perspective of hanging out with Thor at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. How great would that be?
That would be awesome to see that whole thing.
From from
the Guardians.
God, that'd be awesome. I hope they do that. I'm hoping too much probably, but that would be great.
Oh yeah, you're talking about high expectations.
Oh God,
that movie I have high expectations for.
Especially since when the first one was out, I was like, oh please, if they pull this off, please let this not suck. Please let this not suck, and then it freaking hit it out of the park.
See, that's the opposite for me, because I looked at that and I said, that looks like fun. I hope it's fun because I know nothing about this shit. I hope it's nothing like that giant tome Guardians of the Galaxy thing Hav gave me.
Always comes back to that.
God damn it.
Always comes back to
Never gonna let me live that down.
Oh no, it's fine. I keep waiting for you to suggest it.
Just it's in my back pocket.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It won't fit
It
back
is
there.
4
Wait,
inches thick.
Anyways, okay. Well, there's been tons of movies that have come out. Anything else about Ant-Man or anything
that. Oh,
else
the thing
coming
we
up?
started talking about.
Well, because I did like real fast. I think you already mentioned it at the very end. Loki and Owen Wilson's character. The one of the last post credit scene. I just love how it's all interconnected. And, I liked Loki, the TV show, the first season, and I'm so looking forward to the second season and more of Loki and now, Owen Wilson's character. But other than that, I don't know if I have any other thoughts or notes.
I am looking forward I'm very much looking forward to Loki. I don't even know what all is coming out, like what they've got planned. It's kind of like, I think, shit. Didn't The Mandalorian, the first episode, drop last week or this week?
This week.
I didn't realize
Oh,
it
shit,
until
I didn't know
earlier
that.
today. Yeah, so
It dropped.
that's starting up.
It dropped on Wednesday. I had it watched by. I think I watched it at 8 in the morning on Wednesday morning.
Is he still hanging out with that little green kid?
Did you watch Boba Fett?
Yes.
Then yes.
I'm trying to remember how Boba Fett ended. I don't know. It's one of those things now. There's so much stuff that
I got you.
Yeah.
I got to remember, like, okay, where did we leave off? All that. But I don't know.
I liked the first episode, but I was mildly disappointed in it. It did not move the narrative as much as I want because they spent too much time setting up shit. So I kind of wish they'd dropped 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because it was good, but I'm like, really? This season after 2 fucking years? This is what you give me?
No, that's like The Sopranos, where they'd be gone for like 2.5 years, and then like I don't remember what was going on, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who died last season and 2 years ago?
They in the previously on, they didn't even have Grogu coming back, which happened in a completely different series. So because that happened at the end of Boba Fett. So
Right.
yes, he's back with him. So
I think, How you said something earlier that you enjoy how much the Marvel universe is interconnected. The shows and the movies, like it's all moving, and it's always moving towards this next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that. Something that I am looking forward to, and it's not for a while, but Thunderbolts. I like the idea of the villains having their shot, whether they're going to turn out to be good guys or they're just moving, more towards chaos or whatever. Julie?
Julia Louise-Dreyfus.
Yeah. Her character,
Love her.
getting more in there. Just all that stuff that's just moving towards, we know that it's headed towards the Kang Dynasty. And so how all these things fit in. And then you've got all the other TV shows. Hawkeye, I don't know how that's gonna go on from here, but
Oh God,
you
I want
have,
another season.
Kate Bishop. And so you have a lot of the pieces to start putting together Young Avengers. What's her name? Riri Williams, Ironheart, you've got they're starting to pull up this next generation of
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, and who are going to be the big players as this thing starts to go forward. That's what I love about the Marvel Universe, is that it's not perfect. Like there's some things, in my opinion, are hit or miss, but it's interconnected. It's moving towards a bigger thing, and I enjoy that. That's what I've always loved about comics, was the X-Men would, have, connection to the Avengers and to the Fantastic Four. And I know I've said this, other times, whenever it was the big team up, the once a year crossover, I loved that. Some of them were ridiculous, but some of them were absolutely great because you had these different teams, pieces of them coming together and working together. And then, they go their separate ways at some point, but it was always for a common goal. They had to save the universe. And that's the stuff I eat up. Like, I absolutely love that.
Same. No, and especially if they don't overdo it, right? Like, it's not like they went from Endgame and the very next movie was another saving the whole universe. All of us have to get together to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody gather. Now, I know every movie has a big, big consequences, and every movie's in its own way significant. But yeah, I agree. It's just cool to wonder what's going to happen to, and to guess or think about. And if it does, and I'm not one of those that if it doesn't pan out the way I want it to, that I'm going to take all my toys and go home. I'm just going to be like, they decided to do that, and either I like it or I don't. So far, with a few exceptions, Even the ones I didn't think that were awesome, I thought they were like, they took a swing. They, the Eternals, they took a swing. It didn't quite hit. But there's some good stuff in there that they can build on in the future. Oh, Thunderbolts, the Captain America knockoff from
a U.S. agent.
Hawk and Bunny, Winter Soldier and Falcon. They got that dude. They got.
Are they going to do a show with U.S. Agent or?
I'm wondering if he's going to be part of Thunderbolts.
He has to be part of Thunderbolts because he's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Yeah,
he is part of Thunderbolts, and then I would imagine Falcon and Winter Soldier if they do that again. Yeah, Zemo's going to be there.
Yeah, well, Falcon and Winter Soldier won't be a part of the Thunderbolts because they're both good guys.
No. What I'm saying, the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because that's where they started. They pulled. Yeah, and so that's where you have all these little pieces that they can pull in from other movies, other shows, and just connect it.
And I love Natasha's little sister.
Oh God, she was the greatest.
Elena.
Yeah, she was the greatest part in Black Widow.
She was incredible in Black Widow. She helped make. I loved everything about the Hawkeye show. I mean, literally, there was no note off in the Hawkeye show, but she helped elevate that. Do you keep saying my name because you're trying to scare me? Why do you think that? Whatever the girl's name is. I mean, because she just kept repeating her name over and over and over again, and it just cracked me up.
Yeah, I think she was great in Black Widow, and you'll see her more and more, and she'll be in Thunderbolts, and I'm sure they'll weave her in other places. But yeah, to carry on that legacy of Black Widow, and then to make it her own character. She's not just a knockoff. She's the sister, and she's got her own stuff going on. But she was funny as hell in Black Widow.
She was great. Speaking of funny as hell, I also would love to see David Harbour back as Red Guardian.
I think he's going to be in Thunderbolts.
That would be awesome. I'm just please. He's just freaking awesome. I saw him. I think I've told you. Have you all watched Hot Ones where they eat the increasingly hotter wings?
Yes.
Where they're being interviewed by the dude. David Harbour was on it. It's one of the best ones. He seems like a cool dude too. But no, I would love to see more of him as Red Guardian. He was great too. Anyways, I know this is all, we're talking about all sorts of things now. But
I think you mean Crimson Dynamo.
Gosh darn it.
And I still want to know which Captain America he fought.
That right there. Yeah.
There's so much, because I think it could have been Cap when he goes back to I know and there's time travel things.
Fucking wrong on that. No, because there are other.
Well, whatever.
Okay, you want to know? Okay, going into Marvel history, the original Cap they claim died and then came back when the Marvel Comics did. But they actually had other Captain America comic books that had gone on there, and they've retconned that into they got another Captain America. And this was before U.S. Agent. They actually had another guy who was being Captain America. So
not Steve Rogers.
Not Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers was in Ice. What's what they went back with.
Okay,
so they had that's what I'm saying. So you are correct. He could have fought a Captain America because during the Cold War they could have shoved somebody into a suit, shot him up with steroids, and had a Captain America.
Yeah.
So
you did have in Falcon and Winter Soldier, they did have the character, the older black man, Isaiah, that was Captain America at one point.
I don't think they ever called. There is no way at the age he was they ever called a black man Captain America. But yes, he was a super soldier.
Consider that it.
Yes.
No,
did they call him Captain?
Okay. I believe he said he was Captain America.
Cool.
It was also the time, understand that this is happening now.
Yeah.
He might have been Captain America in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
70s.
70s.
Okay.
80s.
So, a younger guy.
I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he may not have been the Captain America that was celebrated on TV, but he might have been Captain America who's out doing dirty work.
Yes. Maybe they did. I don't know how much y'all have read of the comic books in the last 10 years, 15.
By the way,
Blue Marvel.
Hold on. By the way, that sounded like I did not think a black man should be Captain America. And that was not what that was in any way whatsoever.
No. Well,
this is Charles
I was going to point out
his statement to make sure he's well understood. The white guy on the show wants to make sure everybody understands.
I really do want to.
No, I didn't. No, I don't think anybody would have taken to that. But,
all right, I was just saying America sucked for years and can at times still. Anyway,
I mean, still
Blue Marvel was a character they introduced, kind of retconned back into the 60s, where he was fully masked in from head to toe, And I'm wondering if maybe that version of Captain America could have been fully masked, head to toe, no skin showing. Mm-hmm. Blue Marvel, the reveal was a black man in the 60s, and then he was like a Superman character. Mm-hmm. People freaked out because he was African American or black, and then he kind of just quietly went away and kind of retired. But I'm wondering if, I'm just thinking out loud. Anyways, we're talking about what ifs, but anyways, well, maybe they did that with Isaiah, what was his name?
I'm trying to find it right now.
The African American Captain America. Wasn't it Isaiah something?
Let's see. Okay.
Anyways, I don't know.
Elijah Richardson as Isaiah's grandson Eli Bradley.
Okay.
Okay. Carl Lumley as Isaiah Bradley, an African American Korean War veteran and super soldier who was imprisoned and experimented on for 30 years. Elijah Richardson as Isaiah's grandson.
Another young Avenger.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He was part of Captain America's Strike Force. Mm-hmm. He was, I don't know. So he wasn't Captain America. He was a super soldier that was experimented on. Mm-hmm. Charles is right. The white guy's right.
God damn it. Oh, well. All right. Well, that's the downer.
It's not because I'm white.
You're going to just keep on going back to that well, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm just going to... I want to clarify. I'm not correct because I'm white. Because I know lots of white guys who are dumber than fucking rocks. So...
Can you cut something out if I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's because you have special white power.
Yeah, so that's what I'm leading the show with now.
Thank you. Way to go, Caesar.
Fucking dare put that in.
Yeah, that's lead.
It's saying, I'm sorry. That has to stay.
You just walked right into that.
Jesus Christ. I thought you were going to use the C word or something, and I was like, yeah, I'll probably cut that out.
He's that shit fuck pussy. Oh my God.
I snorted. Okay.
I'm sorry.
And Caesar, if you've learned anything about America, white guys lie.
Oh my God.
Of course I can cut this out.
He could. He's not going to. He can do whatever he wants. He's white.
All right, what are we talking about?
And again, me being white has nothing to do with the fact that I edit this fucking podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I would literally just have a hammer and just be hitting. I'm editing, and just hit the keyboard.
All right, no, seriously, what were we talking about before that?
I don't know.
Comic book movies good, TV shows good.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was an excellent movie. Part. Huh? Yeah. I truly enjoyed that movie. I really liked at the end where he forced Cassie into the thing and stayed behind, and then the Wasp came back for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it really looked like they were. I knew it could go either way. I was like, okay, are they just cliffhanging? Are they going to cliffhang it there? She came back and saved his ass because I loved his. You don't understand. I don't have to win. We both have to lose. And that is just that's the difference between a villain and a superhero.
Yeah.
I want to win. Yeah. I just want to stop you from winning. That's how I win. Regardless of what happens to me, that's how I win.
What is Hobbs? What's going on Hobbs' camera?
Whoa. I don't know what happened there.
It looked good though. That was pretty cool.
What was? Yeah, I just noticed that. I was staring enough into this. I have no idea what happened.
Messages from outer space.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. But when that was going on in the back of my mind, I was going, yeah, but the Hank Pym is up there with the device. He knows that portal could open back up, and sure enough, boink, there it went.
Well, and his whole thing is he's trying to save Cassie, and he's trying to save his daughter. He's trying to save his daughter, and so he's going to do whatever he has to do. And so if that means he has to sacrifice himself, that's what the hero does. But yeah, Wasp comes back for him, and they end up saving the day.
One of the videos I watched talked about his arc in this and his arc throughout the movies, and versus like Cassie's arc. Cassie's arc is she wants to be a hero. Mm-hmm. His arc, Scott's arc, has always been, I want to have my daughter. So everything he has done is to have his daughter. It's not to save the world. It's not to save the microverse. It is, I have to save Cassie. I have to steal this so I can have the money so I can have my daughter's visitation so I can see my daughter. The next time I can't help you do all of this stuff, even though it's partially my fault because I have to get out of probation so I can be with my daughter. Even when he comes back from the blip. Well, that one, he found a way to save the world and did it. So there he was a little hero, but even when they got down there and Cassie was saying, hey, we need to help these people, when Kang's where he was like, no, we need to get the fuck out of here. And Cassie's like,
this isn't our fight.
Yeah, we need to help. Just like she got arrested. We need to we need to help. That's what she wants to do.
And she's young and she's impetuous, and that's just who she is. And she's even at one point she says, this is all my fault that they're in the quantum realm. Like, yeah, it is your fault. And you're experimenting, you're doing stuff. Somebody's got to be the person that causes it. She's a kid and she's learning, and she's doing great
you're
going to see and you're going to see that her character arc, that'll develop, that she makes mistakes, she learns, and it's all that because she is the kid in this thing. And what they do with her in the future will be interesting.
Yeah. And he also, when he first got in trouble, was trying to be a hero, because he went to jail for breaking into a place to get information about how they were fucking people over.
Oh, okay.
He was a whistleblower. So you look at that. So he's been burned hard by going out to do the right thing.
He learned his lesson.
Yeah, he learned his lesson. Don't help. And now he's coming back to the other side. I saw a neat thing because they're dunking on his book and whatever. They're making fun of him. Although I love that Hank Pym listened to it, quoted it. That was awesome. But when he doing the book stuff, somebody pointed out online or somewhere that everybody else in the Avengers probably chose him to write the story about what happened. It's like the official, him writing that. It's kind of like the official, hey, this is what happened.
Like he's the historian?
It was just it was a nice, fun what people think. And I was like, I like that. That is because...
he's the one that can get away with it.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Being a bit indulgent, and Captain America can't do it.
Yeah, that's... Iron Man is dead because Tony would have done it.
Well,
or had it ghost written.
But, that's actually a pretty good theory. I like that.
And he was actually there,
He was, let's be honest, he was fucking instrumental as shit in it.
Well, the rat that turned on the machine that brought him back.
That was really important. That rat played a very big role.
The rat really.
Yeah, that's true.
In Hawkeye, the TV show, the Steve Rogers musical, they have Ant-Man there at the Battle of New York. And I remember watching it when it first came on, and I was like, he wasn't there. And then so that's like a running joke there that he wasn't part of it, and they just inserted him in the thing. That stuck with me, that it's one of those little tidbits of things.
Totally didn't even notice that.
They're bringing Ant-Man the musical to Disney's Marvel showcase thing.
Captain America the musical.
Captain America, yeah, they're bringing Captain America the musical.
Like the full thing?
I don't know if it's going to be the full thing.
I hope they made a full thing.
It's probably just a couple.
It's probably just it's just a fun little that they're going to do, because that's hilarious.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Well, before I forget to nitpick a little bit, so tell me if I'm wrong. Plot issue I have. Tell me why I'm just nitpicking. So if Janet had just freaking told them, what did I do?
No, I'm getting ready.
Had Janet just told them about her experience in the quantum verse,
Quantum
then all this is. If she had just opened up a little bit and said, "Hey, by the way, I don't want to talk about it, but let me just tell you, whatever you do not just leave it alone. Hands off."
Well,
maybe, but they wouldn't have the movie.
Yeah, and she mentions she says, "Yeah, I just couldn't talk about it, and I asked you to leave it alone." But Caesar's right. You don't have the movie.
I know, but I just wanted a better explanation as to, like, I get it. She was traumatized, blah blah blah. 30 years there, but nobody. I don't know. That was just again, it's a nitpick.
She didn't want to tell her husband that Bill Murray's better in the sack.
Yeah.
And that there's this huge place, and there's this megalomaniac that wants to take over the multiverse, and maybe we should leave it alone. She thought, I'm not going to mention that to everybody. Okay.
I mean, if you want to point that out and you want to be that guy, we can.
I'm sure other people pointed that out.
I'm sure there's a ton of articles you can go and read.
That's just my only. It's not. You know what? It's not even. I get it. She didn't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about something that traumatized you for freaking 3 decades.
Something I didn't like at first, and then at the end of it I liked better, is all the extra Scott Langs when they were in when it just kept out, and all that until it was, oh wait, we have to save Cassie, and then all of them are like, fuck yeah, get him out, come on. All of them, they have one driving thing about every Scott Lang in every probability. It's that Cassie's important.
Well, and you have the same effect that they didn't expand on. It was Wasp when she's trying to get to him. It's just a stream of them right behind her.
They're all going to save him.
They all have one mission. This is what we got to do.
They're going to get him.
Yeah. And so it does give you that.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch just saying, this is who he is. He loves his kid and he just wants to save her. And then Wasp, we have a mission. I got to get to it. And there's nothing else of importance here.
That's right. And they're really good characters and they're really well written. And I don't know how anybody didn't like that movie. Well, I do because I know people, but
because people are bad. That's why.
Nah.
Especially people who like the old Batman from 1989. They're terrible, but
how dare you attack me?
I do it every day. This is what I do. I'm really good at it.
Yeah, it was good. I liked that. Well, yes, Batman '89, but no, Ant-Man. I'm looking Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm looking forward to watching it when it gets released on Disney Plus because I don't know that I'm going to go back to the theater. Although it is, I guess, still out there in 3D, and I'm mildly interested to see it in 3D because there's so much going on visually. It might be cool. I don't know. As Charles fakes throwing
out. Yeah, well, that one in particular. I've liked some 3D. I think the only one I watched in 3D ever that I really liked was, honest to God, I think it was Shrek 3 or 4. One of the Shrek movies I saw in 3D. And I think the animation worked better. But you and I went and didn't we see, I'm pointing at Hav, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I realize you don't know how you're set up on my screen. And I'm just
maybe
wagging my finger at you. And you got us... You got us 3D ones, and that wasn't bad, except the problem is it puts your focus point on a certain thing. It seems to.
I can take it
and I can't see the whole... I like to get distracted sometimes with something going on off to the side on the screen.
Well, I'm pretty sure you were there. You camped out so you could see Avatar in 3D. You stayed there overnight. So you'd be...
I remember that. I'd take him some chicken. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he was
do you know? I'm just curious.
Weeks.
Do y'all know anybody that A, saw the new Avatar movie, or B, was like, "Oh my god, it's even better than the original one," and I love the original one?
I know Caesar saw it, and he's raising his hand. So Caesar,
did you love it?
No.
Okay.
I knew that too.
Not. It's a guy I work with said it's a 2.5 hour or 3 hour screensaver. Like it looks badass, but I don't need 30 minutes of, these kids swimming through the ocean with these, big ass whales and shit. Like we could have done that in 5 minutes and moved this thing on. My dad loves Avatar. Like the first one, thought it was great. So when it was coming out, I was like, all right, I'll get you tickets. I got him, tickets for opening day, and he went and he came back and I was like, hey, how was it? And he was like, it's the same movie. Oh, it's the exact same movie. And it is, and it's just with a different group of
Avatars?
Na'vi.
Oh.
And then I read something the other day, or I saw a headline that like they're going to have desert people next, or in one of the coming movies. I'm like, so it's going to be the same screensaver movie, but with desert tones. Like everything's going to be sepia or whatever dark bland khaki colors they can come up with. It wasn't great. And for all James Cameron, bashing other movies and shit, I'm like, dude, settle down. Like Terminator 2 was where it was at, and then you made another cool one, and you can stop now.
Okay. I'm just curious.
You haven't seen it, though?
No, I have no plans to. No desire. I saw the first one. I don't even know if I saw it in the theater.
I've never seen an Avatar movie. I've also never seen... the only ones of his movies that I know of that I've seen are... I'm pretty sure at some point I've seen most of Terminator, the original one, because of cable. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the whole thing at once.
You're good.
Yeah. And I've seen Terminator 2 multiple times, saw it in the theater, loved it. It was great. Never seen another Terminator movie. It's just... And I've never seen Titanic.
Aliens?
Nope.
What? Isn't
Aliens
that him?
Good.
I have heard that yes. I've heard that
it's
good.
It's different than Alien for sure, but it's cool.
Okay, so did he do Alien or Aliens?
No, Aliens, the second one.
He did the second one? Yeah, no, I've never seen that. I haven't seen the first one.
Ridley Scott did the first.
That's right. That's why I was confused there for a minute. I thought he did all of them.
There's a show on Netflix that's like the movies that made us, and they're explaining how these great movies were made. And one of them is Aliens. And I can't remember if Terminator 2 launched him into Aliens or if Aliens launched him into Terminator, or Terminator was first and then put him into Aliens, and that gave him like a green light for Terminator 2. But either way, for Cameron, I don't even know where the hell I'm going with this anymore. It was, he did great things at one time, and now this thing, and especially like with this new Avatar, if either one of you have been to Disney in the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, they have an Avatar ride. And when I was there about 6 years ago, I didn't get to go on the ride because I didn't have a ticket. So I went and had 2 beers while my girlfriend and her daughter were on the ride. And that was great because I had a little quiet time to me. And like they were saying, it was amazing. It was just so incredible. Like, oh my God. And that's what this movie is. It's a ride for Disney. And all the visuals are what they're going to use. And story-wise, it didn't really move much. It was, oh no, the humans are coming back. We have to fight them. Okay, well, we're going to fight them. And now it's in water.
So you're okay with colonizers? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, they've got their place.
Got to teach the
humans.
Dances with wolves, except, with blue people instead of Native Americans.
Space. Yeah, in space.
In space.
Pigs in space. Oh, no. Whatever. You know what I mean. Okay, I feel like this is partially my fault that we've gone so far afield, but it was all awesome talking about all that crap.
Movies are fun.
They are.
Movies, TV, comic books.
I don't know, man. That reading shit's really annoying.
I am so pissed off right now at the book I'm reading because it is a 440-page book. I am 244 pages into the damn thing and nothing has fucking happened. And it's a thriller and it's an author I like. It's a character I like. And I'm only still reading it because I feel like I'm pot committed. I only got 200 fucking pages left, but nothing has happened.
What are you reading?
I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just show it.
Well,
just show it.
It's I can't remember. You may not know. I never know the name of the book I'm reading. It's The Maze. It's a John Corey book. It's the 8th one, and it's a Nelson DeMille novel. And I really like his novels. I like the thrillers he does. He's the guy that did The General's Daughter.
Oh yeah.
The original John Corey one is something about Plum Island. Is the book.
I didn't realize that John Corey was like a character with a series.
After Plum Island, he continued him on. He then went to work not with the FBI as a retired NYPD detective. And there's some really good books while he's fighting terrorism and stuff. They're fun. They're generally fun books. And this one is it's like, come on, get to it.
Okay.
So that's what I'm having trouble with. And I'm like, all right, I've got some other books on my Kindle that I want to read next. And I'm like, I feel like I need to get through this because I was excited when I saw it. And I'm like, I'm going to read it. And like I said, 240 pages in and I don't feel like anything's happened.
But see, if you quit now, page 241, that's where it kicks in.
Yep. The thing
You're
is,
hate yourself.
No, I know. They've set it up. There's shit's going to go down in this book.
But you don't know if it's now?
I don't know.
300?
Yes, it's in the next 200 fucking pages. And I'm like, you're killing me. Just get to it.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for this book sucks. I got to keep pushing through.
That's not even the sucky part is nothing's happened. I like the way he writes. I like the characters. It's fine. He's quippy and fun, but it's just too much of it. Yeah, it's just I've had enough of that. I want some fucking action. That's why I'm reading this book. There are other books I can read an entire. I've got some other books on deck that will be more of just it's that I'm listening to a novel, a real novel instead of a thriller, a genre thing in my car right now, and that's different. And this, I expect action. I want to get what I paid for. And you know what I paid for it because I got it from the public library. So
well, you get what you pay for.
I'm getting what I paid for. Are you going to do an
ad for them now?
The public library. It's free, yo.
Bingo card.
Get you a book that takes 240 pages to get into, but damn it, one of these days it's going to get real good.
So that was my rant about books. Guys, thank you so much. I'm excited that this is not going to be episode 1 of season 3, but it is going to be the first episode of season 3.
You're just again attacking me because this drives me crazy when I'm keeping track of the episodes. And yes, it hurts me. I was going to mention, since I got you all both here, and it just happens that we're recording, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out in May, which is not that terribly far away. So I'm hoping maybe we can all get together and go watch that at the theater when it does drop. So maybe something to look forward to, and maybe we can do another one of these not too long after that, which would be
it only took us like 2 years to get to this one. So
I know, right?
I'll see you guys in 2025.
We tried to do one last summer.
I know, and I'm part of the reason that things just didn't get done. So
I'm just waiting for Charles to say, by the way, the recording stopped about an hour ago. I'm so sorry, guys. I messed up. Whoops. I didn't even notice. It's not been recording for God knows how.
No, it has been, and I just saved it again, and we're good. So,
do you want to tell them what we're going to read for the first whatever regular episode of the season, Charles?
Absolutely. Why don't you tell them what your suggestion was?
My suggestion was that we read JLA versus Avengers that came out 2004. Kurt Busiek and the art by the late great George Perez.
And it's really cool. That is not available at the public library, but Mr. Gonzalez actually gave me a physical copy of it.
I did.
And I will read that for the podcast. And I suggested that we read Spider-Man's Deadpool Volume 1, Isn't It Bromantic?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, guys. I don't remember. I know I've already checked it out from Hoopla, which is also a part of the public library, everybody. Mm-hmm. I just remember seeing the writer and the artist thinking, okay, this should be pretty good. And I just pulled it up. Yeah, Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. And I know I've read stuff by Joe Kelly, and I know I've seen Ed McGuinness's art. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
It's fun. I liked it. That's why I brought it up. And we're going to go really deep. We're going to try to do at least 3 comics where Superman dies this nice. season instead of just the one we've done the last 2 seasons. We're going to have to dig deep, but I'm sure I can find 3 dead Superman stories. Well, there's one easy one because we haven't done the original death of Superman.
Well, can it be death of analog Superman?
Well, I think we'd have to reach out to do that. Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. That'd be kind of fun. Hey, man, thank you, Charles, for always doing all the heavy lifting on the editing. And Caesar, thanks for joining us. It's always a bunch of fun when you're on here. It helps. You know what? It's fun doing the podcast with Charles, but it helps break up, just me and him with the thing that we do. And maybe it gets a little stale. And it adds a little spice to bring a third person into the mix. And I don't mean that sexually at all.
That's the thing about listening is I get to hear you guys complaining about each other to each other's faces and listening to it, like weeks and months later. But here I got to sit in awkwardly as it was happening. Like we're all at dinner and I'm sitting there and you guys are arguing and I'm like, I'm just gonna eat my nachos because that's all I can do in this moment.
I think the complaining about each other was more the 2 of you and the Batman thing in this particular episode.
That's a very good point.
Back off, all right? Back off. I'm a guest. Be nice to me. No, gentlemen, thank you very much. I do enjoy this. Love when we get together and, go see the movies, when we talk and everything like that. Let's get together without microphones and movies and maybe a few beverages with everybody else sometime soon.
Yes. Thank you all for listening to this, the not episode 1 of season 3. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.